Yeah, and we have a loan program for almost for any type of borrowing. The three things that we do check is credit, income, and assets with the Chenoa, the specifically one that you were mentioning.
I love
It is an
Chenoa.
FHA, yeah, FHA product. They do help with 3.5% down payment,
Okay.
or 5%. I think the 5%, the 3.5%, if they're in the house, if they pay 36 months consecutively, it is, and there's no late, it is actually forgivable. They don't have to repay that 3.5% back.
Wow. That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
5%, they have to be there for, let me see here, I wrote it down so I don't forget. 120 payments, no late, and then that is forgivable as well.
Okay.
So it definitely helps out.
So I know, of course, about your standard VA, FHA, conventional.
Hmm.
The most important thing that I always like to ask for my clients and things of that nature is how competitive are you guys on interest rates that you charge for your respective products? And
Hmm.
the fact that you guys are a lender and not a bank. I know sometimes y'all hear clients say, well, I want to go with Truist because that's my bank, or I want to go with, this credit union because that's a bank. But I kind of try to open clients' eyes up and say, there's more than one way to be funded, and you just want to make sure it's a reputable company. But how are you
Hmm.
guys from a competitive standpoint as it relates to interest rate, which is obviously the bottom line for clients?
Yeah, yeah. So we do a lot of advertising on Zillow, NerdWallet, and all that good stuff. So in order for you to advertise there, you have to be very competitive when it comes to rates. And being a direct lender, there's no middleman. So, we pass on the savings to our borrowers. And if there's something that we need to do, by working here, I do have a little bit of leverage with regards to trying to match a rate if there's something that we need to do.
Okay.
But our rates are very, very competitive, Marvin, extremely
All right.
competitive.
So I have a lot of investors, investor clients, and mom and pop investor clients as well.
Uh-huh.
So what intrigued me a lot as well is the program that you guys offer that has it's a no money down,
Hmm.
but the person doesn't have to occupy that long. So like, is that an investor geared product? Because obviously I know that you can use FHA, for example, for any home that you own or occupy. If you're within the guidelines, you can use conventional for any home that you own or occupy. Then obviously, if you want to be an investor, you might have to put anywhere from 10% to or up to 20, 25% down. So
Hmm.
tell me about that product because it sounds like it's geared towards making it easier for real estate investors.
So yeah, so it is an FHA product. You are 100% accurate. And FHA is geared for primary use, but there is, things that you can do if you already own a property. I
Right,
believe it has to be 100 or 150 miles away from the other one. And if it's a bigger property, you
right,
can use FHA, right? And as long as it makes sense in the underwriter. But if you have like a $500,000 home and you're buying a condo, it's not going to make sense because it looks like investment. But if you're upgrading, let's say you have a 3-bedroom home for 350,000, you're getting a 4 or 5 bedroom home, when it's a little bit further out, you can have a second FHA. So it is an FHA product and it has to go
um,
through the FHA guidelines.
okay.
So we have to check that, but there is certain circumstances that we can use it for a second home.
And you can occupy both respectively.
Correct, correct. But they have to
That's
be, don't quote me. I don't know if it's 100 or 150 miles away. They can't be close
right.
to each other. And it has to be, an
An
upgrade. It
upgrade.
cannot look
Okay.
like an investment. If you're having a big house and you're buying a condo, it's not going to work out.
Right.
It's going to be an
Now,
investment.
can folks take advantage of this if they, let's say, they're in a two-bedroom currently, for example, and they want to move to a duplex or a triplex, which essentially is an upgrade.
Yes.
But obviously, because they got the first property, it's 150 miles away. For example,
Hmm.
I and some clients of mine, they like to invest in like South Carolina,
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
Alabama. And so they would be able to take advantage if they found like a duplex, for example, or triplex, because
One to
technically
four properties, one to
one,
four units. Yeah, we can do up to 4 units.
yeah,
So keep in mind that it has to be a primary use. So if they have to work remotely, or
right,
like if you're doing in a different state, like you mentioned, South Carolina or another
right,
state,
right,
we can do that. But let's say, if they work out of their office and they're not being transferred to that state, or they can't
right.
work remotely, then it's going to be an issue because how are they going to commute every day? So it just has to make sense, right? We still
Yes, it
have to
makes sense.
operate within the FHA guidelines. But
Okay,
if they have a letter an offer letter that they're being transferred to that state,
Right.
or if they have a letter from their employer that they can work remotely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If your IT guys, there's a lot of people that haven't gone back to work, or they
Right.
don't have to be in the office every day. We can definitely help out as long as we get a letter from that employer saying that they're remote 100% and they don't
Right.
have to operate within the office
Yeah.
settings. And definitely.